Okay, well, thanks for joining us again for HMTV and for Tech Talk. And today we're going to be talking about self-help tips for winter. So again, my name's Tim Bowen, and this is Richard Fair, and he is the shop foreman for Hildebrand Motors. So Richard, things you can check or do on your own vehicle. One of the things you want to talk about is tire pressure. And we touched a little bit about that last time on the last show that we had. What do you have to say more about that?
Tim, it's kind of important, especially if you like to do that type of thing yourself, to get yourself a really good tire gauge. You need to always monitor that in the winter time. It seems that tires do deflate, at a certain rate. When it's cold, if you don't check them, once every couple of weeks, you may end up having an issue where the light will come on and warn you. But it is quite important to get an actual good quality tire pressure gauge itself.
And where can you buy these pressure gauges?
Pretty well any automotive store, the regular automotive stores that you have in your town. Don't pick the cheapest one because it probably isn't going to be as accurate as a good quality one. So. And
can you get gauges here as well at Hildebrand Motors?
I don't believe we have them in our parts department. We have some gauges for checking tread depth and that, but we don't.
Okay.
All
right. So what about washer fluid level and checking that and filling it and
Yeah. In most cases, people are pretty aware of where that container is. I think most people have filled that themselves. It's really important that you do that almost on a daily or maybe every 2 days to check it, especially when the conditions change quickly and you notice that your windows are streaking and that type of thing. It's kind of just a common sense thing, but always have an extra jug along with you in your trunk. It's, in the winter, it's almost a safety thing as much as it is.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you want to see the road.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, clean snow and ice from cowl area before turning on the wipers. Can that be a problem for people, or?
Yeah, the cowl area is generally the area right below the bottom, or right at the bottom of the windshield, and where your windshield wipers are parked. If you don't clean that, you're going to see a lot of issues where you can possibly have problems with your wipers. Components will bend. If you've had a heavy snow overnight, make sure you clean it off before you turn them on. I think we mentioned once before that sometimes they're just frozen down and they won't even move. Well, that's a pretty good indicator to just go ahead and clean all the snow off first before you run the wipers. And we have a lot of situations where people come in and the wipers are all out of time because it just is too much of a load for the wipers to handle all the snow, the wet snow especially.
Okay. So, and if you clean it too, you're probably going to get less tear on the wipers themselves and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's another thing that you need to check is have a good look at your wiper blades. A lot of times, especially on the ends, you'll see that they're tearing away from the rest of the frame of the wiper. And or if you get streakiness, there's another issue there. You can be proactive and wipe down the wiper so that you kind of, it's a proactive thing to just take care of your wiper blades.
Right.
Make sure that they're clean.
Sure. So the cowl, like something like this, would be like you want to clean them in the snow out of here and all that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because some of them are pretty deep.
Yeah. This one is kind of hidden, and you may even actually end up opening the hood in some cases to get some of that snow out of there.
Right. Okay. So what about windshields and when you're driving on the highway, lots of times you'll be behind a truck or whatever, a chip will happen on the windshield. And, what about that?
Yeah, that's another thing. If you see a fairly major chip where you start to see a crack, it's a very good idea to maybe go check with a windshield place and say, okay, you know, can I prevent this from cracking any further? Because as we all know, we've heard that funny little noise when we're warming up our windshields, and you see the crack going across the windshield. And in the wintertime, especially with the sun shining, you know, low on your windshields, you'll have vision problems. Yeah, it's a safety concern.
Right, and especially with the remote starts and stuff like that now too. Like if your windshield's cold and there is a little chip in there or whatever, it could turn into a big crack pretty easily.
Exactly. And you know, it's kind of a catch-22, but if you spend a little bit now, you may end up saving yourself some money in the long run and prolonging the life of the windshield.
Well, a lot of insurance places cover getting them filled too, those cracks filled.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's worth doing. I mean, if you don't have to pay for it, and it's not on your deductible or anything, so you might as well get it done. And even if you do have to pay for it, it's about $20, something like that, to get it filled.
$20 to $25
which is a lot cheaper than $200 to $300 for a windshield.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Richard. That was really helpful. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And we will see you next week here on HMTV at Tech Talk. Thanks a lot, and have yourself a good day.